In the highlands of Kenya, where the soil is dark and fertile, and the forests stretch deep and protective, a storm was quietly gathering. It did not begin with guns. It began with something far more powerful: the refusal of a people to forget who they were. For generations, the Kikuyu people had lived on this land. It fed them, shaped them, and connected them to their ancestors. But under colonial rule, much of that land was taken. Families were pushed aside, voices were silenced, and yet, beneath that silence, something unbreakable remained. By the early 1950s, that dignity began to rise. In the forests of Mount Kenya, men and women gathered, not as an army trained in formal ranks, but as a people bound by purpose. They took oaths, not just to fight, but to reclaim their land, their future. This movement would come to be known as the Mau Mau Uprising. One of its most powerful symbols was a man named Dedan Kimathi. Kimathi was not born into power. He did not inherit a throne, but he carried something greater, a belief that freedom was not a gift to be given, but a right to be claimed. Deep in the forests, he became a leader, organizing fighters, inspiring courage, and reminding his people that even in the face of overwhelming force, they were not powerless. And they proved it. With limited weapons but unshakable will, Mau Mau fighters challenged one of the most powerful empires in the world. They used the land as their ally, the forest as their shield, and unity as their strength. This was not just a rebellion, it was a declaration. The response they faced was brutal. Villages were destroyed, thousands were detained, families were torn apart. The cost was immense, but here is where the true power of the story lies. Even when leaders were captured, even when the forest grew quieter, even when the uprising was suppressed, the spirit of resistance did not die. Because the Mau Mau were never just about weapons or battles. They were about awakening something deeper, a national consciousness, a realization across Kenya that freedom was possible and worth any sacrifice. And that idea spread. It moved beyond the forests and into the hearts of millions. It strengthened the resolve of leaders like Jomo Kenyatta, and it sent a message across Africa. Colonial rule was not permanent. Just a few years later, in 1963, Kenya stood up as an independent nation, not because the Mau Mau won every battle, but because they changed the meaning of the fight. So when we tell the story of the Mau Mau, we are not just remembering a rebellion. We are remembering a moment when ordinary people, farmers, workers, sons and daughters of the soil, stood up against injustice that is African power. It is not just strength in battle, it is memory, it is unity, it is resilience. And above all, it is the courage to rise, even when the odds say you shouldn't.